there's only one place we have to start today's show, and who would have thought we'd be starting it with Germany against North Macedonia. North Macedonia beating the Germans by 2-1. The first time Germany have lost a World Cup qualifier in 20 years. It is an extraordinary result, one that nobody saw coming. Joining us, Alessandro del Piero and Jurgen Klinsmann. Jurgen, we've got to start with you. How on earth did this happen?
Yeah, huge surprise, obviously. I mean, nobody expected that. I mean, the way the game started, I thought, it's going to be 2-3-0 after 30 minutes. But they didn't take their chances. They had, they hit the crossbar with Goretzka. They had 2-3 chances with Gnabry, and also Havertz had a very, very good chance. But then you get punished. You get punished when you don't use your chances, and sooner or later you invite the opponent to take their chances. And even if they had a very, very few amount of chances, North Macedonia, they played well. They played very aggressive. They believed in themselves. And when they went up then 1-0 right before halftime, this was a huge shock, And then Germany came back with a penalty. And in the meantime, then North Macedonia should have another penalty themselves. But the way they finished it off, with another beautiful goal. They stunned, obviously, not only Germany, but they stunned the entire home country in North Macedonia now, because this is a huge surprise. Yeah. And obviously a huge disappointment for the German fans. There's no doubt about it. It will be the topic in Germany for the next couple of days. How can you lose a World Cup qualifier at home against North Macedonia?
It's interesting, Jurgen, because we've talked about the fact that obviously they got thrashed by Spain last year, but there was a feeling that they turned the corner. Joachim Low announced that he'd be leaving at the end of the Euros, so some finality there, meaning that wasn't going to be discussed going further. They looked okay in the last couple of games. This just completely halts their momentum, completely.
Yeah, it turns things around right away again. Obviously, they wanted to make sure that, people forget about this 6-0 result with Spain, which was an embarrassment, a huge embarrassment for Germany. They did it well. They won the first 2 games now in these 3 qualifiers. But the expectations were clear. There were 9 points out of 3 games. And especially when you have 2 home games, you expect to win your games at home. Now, this opens up the whole discussion again a little bit. Obviously, Joachim Low, he announced that he will step down after the Euros this summer. But now, with that result, obviously, there will be some tension around. There will be, obviously, the media will do their part. So it's not going to be a relaxed preparation for the Euros. There will be a lot of question marks. Every player will be discussed up and down in all sorts of, if it's social media or the normal papers, it's just part of our culture there. But obviously, they're going to be disappointed with that result. And the heat will be on for the Euros.
And inevitably, that focus, that criticism, a lot of it will be towards Timo Werner, who had that chance coming off the bench 10 minutes ago and just looked completely void of any confidence, Jurgen. Yeah,
but this is another kind of a situation where you can clearly see, and obviously we have 2 other strikers there on board with both Alessandros. When you have 2 or 3 things in your mind, then you're not executing the situation. And he was nervous when he got that ball. He knew he has to put that ball in. Blindly, he would do that 99% of his time. But in that moment, he just overthought the situation. Then he missed it. And we all miss these type of occasions. The problem is the moment when you miss it. Is it in a game that really doesn't matter that much? Or maybe you had already a goal and you miss a situation like that. Then no big deal. But it's a World Cup qualifier. A World Cup qualifier where every point matters. And when you miss it in that way, then obviously he will be angry at himself. He won't probably sleep tonight. He already has a tough kind of situation a bit at Chelsea in the last couple of weeks. So you feel for him. You really feel for him.
Jurgen, just overall, we just saw the team put up there. This team should be more than good enough to beat most sides, especially the likes of North Macedonia. How do you even start trying to explain it?
Well, it's... Obviously, I think they started the first 2 qualifiers in this kind of little 10-day stretch. They started it well. The attitude is okay. The body language is okay. They kept the rhythm high. And so they created enough chances. But they were not clinical at all, especially already in the last game against Romania. They had 5, 6, 7, 100% chances. They put only one in. So that was criticized. Now today, having that big blow with North Macedonia is in a certain way not acceptable, but it happened, you know. So there's a lot of work on the inside of the team coming up, you know, especially in the preparation to the Euros. The quality, they have the quality, but quality is not enough. You need to have this determination. You need to have this way to grind things out, this aggressiveness. And this was today, in some situations, you could see that, okay, if we miss that chance, we're going to use the next chance. So you take things a little bit too easy, and then you get punished. And you've got to give North Macedonia a real compliment. They punished them, and they deserved to win.
Tell you what, Jurgen, the Germans will be happy there were no fans in the stadium.
Yeah, I mean, they would have booed you off the field. You know, there's no doubt about it. Imagine, you know, a World Cup qualifier in front of 60 or 80,000 fans and at home, and you lose against North Macedonia. For a powerhouse like Germany, it's similar to, obviously, to England or Italy, or Spain. You know, when something happens like that, you know, the people will let you know that. But I bet you there's no player tomorrow going in Germany to the baker or the butcher to get his bread or his meat, because they will hear it in all ways. So you better kind of hide at home for a couple of days before you go out again.
Yeah, you wouldn't trust anything they would give you going into shops. It'd be horrible. Alessandro, just overall, you've obviously experienced the highs with Italy, but there must have been lows as well. What's that like for a player to have everybody criticising you, everyone having an opinion about where it went wrong?
Well, I mean, you lose your comfort zone, let's say like this, because I believe that Jurgen explained perfectly everything that happened in the game and the mentality of German people and the German team, including congratulations to the North Macedonia, because they made it. They deserve to win. They faced the game in the proper way. But on the other side, you know, it's very disappointing what's happened, and you lose the momentum. For some reason, you play a lot of games, and I believe that is an issue. A lot of games that you need to put all your mentality and concentration 100% on top, because this is what can happen. If you lose a little bit of that, you're going to lose the game. And this important game put a lot of more pressure on the Germany team for the qualification of the World Cup. But let's say that in the group stage, you can make a mistake. Now they have to be perfect.
Alessandro, just taking it to a personal level, like Jurgen's saying, even going out and going to the supermarket, buying things, you want to avoid doing that because of the criticism that you're going to feel. How conscious are you of that criticism as a player?
Yeah, fully conscious about what happened. From the moment that the referee whistled the final whistle, I mean, you are... all the bad thoughts come in your mind, and you know, and you start to say, "Oh wow, now what is going to happen? I mean, and how can I deal with that? How can I move forward?" And you need some time. So stay home. It's also good to stay, you know, in your mood and recruit all your energy in order to come back on the field a little bit more angry and more. Angry for the result, you know, angry for the details, angry for something that you may miss, even not on purpose, but you know, you miss it, and somebody did it better than you, and they took out the result. So mentally, the players already know that something is wrong, and they need to do something better.
Yeah, on that mental point, Alessandro, how is this going to affect them? Say short term, European Championships this summer. If, for example, you go a goal down early, how much do these sort of results, the thrashing as well against Spain, how does that affect the character of the team in these big games?
Well, it depends. It depends how you want to deal with them. The thing is, if you use these big losses or these criticisms as an inspiration to say to the people, to say to everybody, okay, talk bad about what happened. Now I show you what's gonna happen if I'm full concentrate, what I can do. And we in Italy, we know very well about that, because this is exactly what happened before 2006 when we won the World Cup, that we were in a complete crisis in every aspect of the soccer world. And it happened also in 1982 when Italy won that World Cup with another criticism situation. So it's the way that you deal with that make the difference. Now you can't do nothing. I mean, now it happened. So move forward in a proper way is the key for everybody, in this case for Germany, how you react on that.
Jurgen, has this team got the character to bounce back? That's the big question, I suppose, now looking forward.
Yeah, I totally believe they have the character, and they also, as Alessandro said, they will be angry now. They are disappointed, and they want to correct that mistake that they did today, and it was a big mistake. But it's also a learning curve now going into the European Championship, because it's the question now is, okay, who's going to be the leaders of that pack, going into the Euros? Obviously, Manuel Neuer was not on the field today. Ter Stegen got his game. He did fine. But obviously, when you have a disappointment like that, you always look at certain players, okay, who have the body language now to influence that locker room and influence the entire chemistry of the team going forward. And this will be a very interesting discussion to have going into the European Championship and see, are they coming new leaders out of this, out of this path, out of this time span over the last year with the big disappointment against Spain and today, and who's going to be the face of this team? Because obviously, when the European Championship kicks off, then you need to have a lot of character, you need to have a lot of confidence and leadership on the field. And this is going to be the interesting discussion now to have.
Yeah, again, I'm sorry, my producer's insisting that I bring this up. That the last time Germany lost in the World Cup was 2006 when it was on home soil. And you were the coach then, and then the guy next to you here scored that goal, Mr. Del Piero. I can't believe, why did you make me bring that up to you? I'm sorry, Jurgen, for doing that. Alessandro, what are your memories of that game?
Yeah, of course I remember. I remember pretty well. Was definitely, from my point of view, beside the result, the best game that we saw on the World Cup. In terms of excitement, in terms of how was the mood in the game, how we approach these two gigantic national team like Germany and Italy, when we share players going back and forward from our two nations, the two nations. We know each other pretty well. So that was an amazing game in every aspect, and that's a game that actually ended up on the extra time. Yeah. How tough was the game? How the age between win and lose was really, really low, and thanks God it happened on our side.
It was the last time Germany lost a competitive game on home soil. Jurgen, did you just want to punch Alessandro, or indeed me now, for bringing it up?
No problem at all, because I maybe think a little bit the difference between the loss today that happened to Germany. They have to blame themselves. They didn't execute well the chances they had, so they know why they lost. When we lost in 2006, the semifinal against Italy, in extra time, we actually had to give Italy a huge compliment. They were at the very end the more decisive, the better team. But we also had the feeling that we gave everything we had in that tournament to make it a very, very successful tournament. So we felt good about it. We were disappointed not going into the final, not winning the World Cup. But we felt good overall about the tournament, which a lot of people then kind of judged it like the German fairy tale 2006, because the whole country was partying for an entire month, and a lot of guests came from all over the world, actually discovering a new Germany, a Germany that is open-minded and friendly, and they can make a laugh about themselves, and they don't take things too seriously. So it helped us a lot, that World Cup. But obviously, we felt okay, losing in that game because we gave everything we had, So it feels better if a player like Alessandro then scores against you.
Yeah.
Then maybe you score an own goal, definitely. But today is a big blow for Germany, because you lose against North Macedonia, which should not happen to you. It should not happen. But again, it happened. They have to face the criticism over the next couple of days, over the next couple of weeks. And then they have the big opportunity to correct everything with a very successful European Championship this summer. But obviously now they are under pressure.
Last point, Jurgen. Do you remember the last time Germany lost a World Cup qualifier at home?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Go ahead, tell me.
Little old England, 5-1. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank God I lived in California already by that time.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.